As winter deepens, Europe transforms, not with noise or spectacle, but with light. From cliffs that overlook frozen seas to narrow streets carved by centuries of footsteps, December paints everything in a tender radiance. The night comes early here, yet it never feels lonely. The glow from 1,000 windows keeps the darkness at bay. Somewhere, a fisherman strings lanterns along his boat, their reflections shimmering like constellations on the water. Elsewhere, a quiet plaza bursts into warmth as candles flicker against the cold stone of forgotten cathedrals. Each light tells a story of endurance, of joy, of hope refusing to fade. It's as if every spark in the night sky has fallen to earth to remind us that wonder still exists. You wander through it all, half traveler, half dreamer, caught between centuries and snowflakes. The world feels timeless here, suspended between memory and magic. Every step reveals something new, a whisper, a song, a scent of pine and smoke curling through the cold. You realize these places aren't trying to impress you, they're trying to embrace you. There's beauty here that doesn't ask to be seen. It just glows quietly, faithfully, endlessly. And when the clock strikes midnight, the whole continent seems to hold its breath beneath the stars. The lights remain, steadfast, alive, eternal. This is Under a Million Lights, the secret corners of Europe that glow in December. Lyon, France. In the heart of eastern France lies Lyon, a city where two rivers embrace and winter brings a kind of quiet enchantment that weaves together geography, history, architecture, and festive charm in one luminous experience. Its position at the meeting of the Rhone and Saône has made Lyon a crossroads of commerce, culture, and community since Roman times, a foundation that still resonates in the narrow lanes and ancient stone of its historic districts. As December settles in, the limestone facades of Vieux-Lyon take on a soft golden hue under the early twilight, while festive lights begin to appear in the alley windows, promising discoveries behind every archway. The watchful silhouette of the Basilica of Notre-Dame de Fourvière rises above the city like a frost-tipped crown, a sentinel of light that draws visitors upward into panoramic views of rooftops aglow. But the real magic happens when night falls and the city joins the long tradition of the Festival of Lights. Streets, riversides, parks, and even the hills beyond become canvases for wondrous illumination. On the serene meander of the Saône, small reflections flicker across the water as lampposts and holiday garlands cast twilight charms, inviting quiet wanderings rather than loud celebrations. Up in Croix-Rousse, you'll feel the artful soul of the city come alive. Hillside lanes, murals, and textile heritage echoes, all wrapped in the hush of winter and lit by delicate strung bulbs shimmering in the breeze. The Presqu'île Peninsula, nestled between the rivers, becomes the city's luminous spine in December, flowing from Place de Terreau through the shopping arcades, footpaths lined with light and anticipation. Venture through a hidden traboulet, and you may find yourself in a courtyard where ice faintly glitters on the stone, and overhead strings of microlights seem to mimic stars in a clear winter sky. In a cozy bouchon, you'll savor not just food, but the ambience of winter in Lyon. Wooden beams overhead, the scent of confit duck lingering, candlelight dancing on wine glasses as good stories begin. Meanwhile, the sleek district of Confluence offers a modern contrast. Its glassy waterfront reflecting rays of golden dusk in the city's glow, as if the future of winter charm were sketched in steel and light. At the edge of Parc de la Tête d'Or, you'll find a quieter kind of winter wonder. Frost-tipped leaves, stillness over the lake, a tree silhouette haloed by snow, and the hush of a city in gentle repose. Here and there, the Christmas markets pop up like seasonal villages, Wooden huts, glittering lights, the aroma of caramelized almonds and spiced cider filling the air with joyful anticipation of holiday nights. The bridges crossing the Rhone become thresholds of wonder after dark, their arches lit, their reflections shivering in the water, as though the city were inviting you to step into a story of light. Every architectural era in Lyon, Roman ruins, Gothic cathedrals, Renaissance mansions, industrial-era warehouses, stands proudly in December, each surface aglow, each structure given new life by the season's lights. Lyon's winter is full of sensory richness, the audible crunch of frost beneath boots, the sight of lanterns against pale stone, the smell of mulled wine drifting from a market stall, the taste of praline-filled brioche in a warm cafe. As dusk settles, you might climb the hill to Fourvière and watch the city spread out like a sea of amber lights, rivers winding through like silver ribbons, rooftops shimmering under the dusk sky. And if you stray off the major squares into quiet lanes, you'll discover unexpected treasures, a courtyard wrapped in ivy, a gentle snow flurry under a lamppost, the glow of a single window framing a tiny life inside. In cafes, locals gather in winter comfort, sipping espresso or hot chocolate, watching the street outside slowly dress in lights and feeling the hush that only a December night in a centuries-old city can bring. Even modern institutions like the Musée de Confluence join the celebration, their glass-walled volumes reflecting the glow of holiday lights and reminding you that past and future meet here, in winter's light. Lyon, in December, reminds you that beneath a million lights there are quiet corners, hidden stairways, secret rumors of history, a city that glows not just because of electricity, but because of memory and timelessness. And when you depart, you'll carry not only the images of dazzling installations, but the soft feeling of walking into darkness and emerging into illumination, of finding hidden spaces that only winter and curiosity could reveal. So come to Lyon this December. Wander widely and then wander again, because under all those lights, the real magic is found in the corners that don't shout, they whisper. Reykjavik, Iceland. Reykjavik, Iceland's capital and beating heart, stands proudly where fire meets ice, glowing under the December sky like a city carved from frost and imagination. Located just below the Arctic Circle, it's a place where geography feels alive, geothermal heat beneath your feet, glaciers gleaming in the distance, and mountains wrapping the skyline. Founded more than 1,000 years ago by Norse explorer Ingolfur Arnarsson, Reykjavik has grown from a Viking outpost into one of Europe's most unique winter destinations. When winter arrives, daylight fades into soft twilight, and the long Arctic night transforms the city into a playground for lights, legends, and adventure. Every December, streets shimmer beneath strings of bulbs, reflections dancing on icy roads as locals prepare for one of the coziest, quirkiest Christmas seasons in Europe. The Harpa Concert Hall, Reykjavik's architectural masterpiece, glows with shifting patterns that mimic the northern lights above the bay. Wander through Laugavegur Street, where festive music spills from every shop, and laughter bounces between the painted facades of old Scandinavian buildings. You'll find geothermal steam rising from the ground like dragon's breath, adding a mystical haze to the air as snow falls in slow motion through the glow of lampposts. In the distance, Hallgrímskirkja Church pierces the skyline, a modern cathedral resembling volcanic basalt columns, its bells echoing across a frozen world. From its tower, you can see the city's patchwork of colored roofs glowing beneath the aurora, a surreal panorama that feels both ancient and futuristic. Christmas here isn't just about lights and markets, it's about legends. The Yule lad sneaking through town, the giant Yule cat lurking in folklore, and the spirit of Icelandic storytelling alive in every home. Markets fill with handmade wool sweaters, carved ornaments, and steaming mugs of glögg that warm your hands and heart against the Arctic chill. At the Old Harbor, you can sip cocoa while watching the northern lights shimmer across Faxaflói Bay, their green and violet ribbons mirrored on the icy surface of the sea. Locals light candles in every window, a tradition of hope and warmth that stands in beautiful contrast to the endless night outside. Reykjavik's proximity to nature means adventure is never far. Frozen waterfalls, lava caves, and the Blue Lagoon lie just beyond the city's glowing perimeter. Yet within the city, there's a rhythm, a heartbeat, music, laughter, storytelling that fills even the darkest hours with life. The cafes become sanctuaries. Wool blankets, candlelight, cinnamon pastries, and the low hum of conversation floating through the air. Steam from thermal pools mixes with snowfall, creating a surreal mist where you can swim beneath the open Arctic sky as the aurora dances overhead. Even the wind here tells stories, whistling through alleys and over rooftops, carrying whispers of old sagas and modern dreams. Each night, as the city lights reflect on snow and sea, Reykjavik transforms into a constellation of warmth at the edge of the frozen world. The people, resilient and joyful, embrace winter not as an obstacle, but as an identity, celebrating its beauty with lights, laughter, and courage. Reykjavik doesn't just endure the cold, it glows because of it. Each beam of light a declaration that darkness can be beautiful. And when you finally leave, you'll understand. This city's magic isn't just in the northern lights. It's in its people, its legends, and its way of shining in the deep December dark. Granada, Spain. At the foot of the snow-capped Sierra Nevada, Granada, Spain, glows like an ember beneath the vast December sky, where every light seems to hum with the poetry of its past. This is a city where history breathes through every wall, once the jewel of the Nasrid dynasty, now a tapestry of Moorish elegance and Andalusian warmth. The Alhambra rises above it all, a palace of stone lacework and golden light, standing silent yet alive as the sun dips behind the mountains. When winter arrives, the fortress glimmers with a new kind of beauty: frost on the gardens, lanterns flickering along the ramparts, and a hush that feels almost holy. Below, the Albaycin quarter twists in narrow labyrinths of whitewashed houses, each one decked with small garlands and flickering candles in its window. The scent of wood smoke drifts from chimneys as guitars strum softly from hidden courtyards, their notes mingling with the chill of evening air. From the Mirador de San Nicolas, the view of the illuminated Alhambra against a snowy backdrop is nothing short of celestial, a vision that steals your breath and your silence. In December, Granada feels like a secret whispered between centuries, a city wrapped in both memory and light. Markets bloom across the old plazas, their wooden stalls glowing with crafts, nativity figures, and ribbons of Tehran and marzipan. The cathedral, majestic and solemn, glows under strings of golden bulbs, its bells echoing across the cobblestones as night deepens. You can follow those echoes through Realejo, where ivy-covered walls and lamplight weave together in a slow waltz of color and shadow. The Alcaiceria, once the Moorish silk bazaar, shimmers with incense and laughter. Each corner a dance between the old and the festive. Even the air tastes of history here: spiced wine, roasted chestnuts, and the sweet warmth of churros dipped in chocolate. Granada's winter glow is soft, not showy, a quiet confidence that comes from knowing it has seen empires rise and fall, yet never lost its soul. The people gather close in plazas, singing villancicos, their voices rising into the night like prayers carried by light. Snow glints on the mountain peaks, and the rivers below mirror the city's lamps like liquid stars. Every building seems to hold a heartbeat, every street a memory, every sparkle of light a story retold. The mix of Arabic architecture and Spanish devotion gives December here an aura unlike anywhere else. Half reverence, half romance. You feel it in the mosaics of the Alhambra, in the flicker of candles before ancient stone, in the hush of the wind that moves through the pomegranate trees. Granada doesn't just celebrate winter, it sanctifies it, turning each cold night into a song of light. As the bells strike midnight on Christmas Eve, the city feels eternal, its glow reaching beyond centuries, beyond mountains, into the stars. This is Granada under a million lights. Quiet, golden, unforgettable. It doesn't dazzle, it lingers. And once you've seen it, a part of you will always glow the same way. Lisbon, Portugal. Lisbon in December feels like a film you never want to end. A city bathed in light, sea air, and stories whispered through time. Built on 7 hills overlooking the Tagus River, it glows with the warmth of history even when winter draws its cool breath across the Atlantic. As the sun dips low, rooftops shimmer pink and gold, and the city becomes a constellation. Windows, lamps, and hearts all shining at once. In Alfama, the oldest neighborhood, cobbled streets curl like ribbons between faded pastel houses, adorned with fairy lights and tiled saints. You can hear laughter from inside taverns, mingling with the soft lament of fado singers whose voices fill the December air like candle flames. Down in Baixa, the streets are alive with Christmas markets, the scent of roasting chestnuts and cinnamon sugar winding between glowing stalls. At Rocio Square, fountains shimmer beneath strings of silver light, while families sip hot chocolate under the watchful gaze of statues dusted by mist. The tram 28 rattles past like a golden memory, its windows steamed, its passengers smiling as they climb the city's luminous hills. By night, Praça do Comércio becomes the city's heart, a grand square opening to the river, its yellow arcades bathed in amber light that ripples out across the Tagus. On the opposite hill, the Castelo de São Jorge burns gently in the darkness, its ancient walls gleaming like the embers of another age. Lisbon's December glow isn't loud. It's tender, a city that lights itself not to dazzle, but to comfort. In Chiado, cafes hum with quiet conversations, their windows fogged, their interiors golden with candlelight. People linger over pastries and port wine, their laughter floating through the night like warmth made visible. Further west, the Belém Tower reflects in the still waters of the river, its stone battlements outlined in the silver light as gulls wheel overhead. Nearby, the Geronimos Monastery glows softly, its Gothic arches kissed by the pale flame of street lamps, a cathedral of stone and serenity. Even the bridges shine, the 25th of April Bridge, strung in red light, and the Vasco da Gama, stretching into infinity like a luminous path to tomorrow. Lisbon's hills are alive with sound, the hum of trams, the laughter of children, the rhythm of feet on cobblestones echoing beneath Christmas lights. From the Miraduro da Senhora do Monte, the whole city unfolds below, shimmering like a sea of lanterns meeting the ocean's edge. The air tastes of salt and cinnamon, and every breeze feels like a whisper from the past. Explorers, poets, and lovers all speaking at once. December here isn't cold. It's tender, reflective, alive with the quiet beauty of light against water. Lisbon doesn't chase the dark. It transforms it, turning every shadow into gold. As midnight comes, church bells roll across the hills, and you realize the city isn't sleeping. It's dreaming. And when you leave, you'll carry that dream with you, the glow of Lisbon beneath your skin, as gentle and eternal as the tide. Dublin, Ireland. There's something cinematic about Dublin in December, the way the mist catches the lamplight, the way music spills from pubs like warmth made visible. The River Liffey cuts through the city like a ribbon of black glass, reflecting the shimmer of bridges and the pulse of 1,000 tiny bulbs strung between streets. Each night, as the sun fades by 4, the city awakens, not with noise, but with glow. On Grafton Street, street musicians strum under canopies of gold, their voices blending with laughter, footsteps, and the steady rhythm of winter rain. Shop windows sparkle with wreaths and ribbons, and the scent of cinnamon, clove, and roasted coffee curls through the cold. In Temple Bar, cobblestones gleam with rain, each reflection a moving picture of red doors, Christmas garlands, and candlelit pubs. Inside, fires crackle, pints are poured, and strangers become friends by the time the second round arrives. A fiddle tune swells. Someone begins to sing, and suddenly, the whole room joins in. The sound equal parts joy and ache. That's Dublin in December. Not polished, but alive, raw, real, and radiant in its imperfection. The Halfpenny Bridge shines white against the river, its iron curves wrapped in twinkling lights, the water below doubling the glow. Overhead, yes, the clouds hang low and silver, and somewhere beyond them, the faintest stars wink through. At Trinity College, frost glitters on the courtyard stones. Even the statues seem to glow beneath the lamps, guardians of centuries-old stories. A few streets over, the Book of Kells rests in the hush of the library, illuminated not just by history but by reverence. Dublin's Christmas market fills the docklands with color and warmth. Wool scarves, handmade candles, steaming cider served with smiles. Children's laughter mingles with the hum of conversation, echoing softly off the water and the glass facades. Further up, St. Patrick's Cathedral towers in solemn beauty, its spire reaching toward the stars that peek shyly through the Dublin mist. The city feels both grand and intimate, its heartbeat slow, steady, glowing. Even the rain adds magic, each droplet catching the light like glitter in motion. At night, the pubs spill light onto the streets, and the air hums with a kind of togetherness that only December can bring. By the time midnight comes, the city feels suspended between laughter and stillness, memory and song. Dublin doesn't blaze, it glows, gently, like a promise kept in the dark. And as you cross the river one last time, you see your reflection in the water, part of the city now, part of its light. Porto, Portugal. Perched along the banks of the Douro River, Porto, Portugal, in December glows like a memory painted in gold and mist. This is a city where history clings to the stones, where bridges rise like poetry, and where every flicker of light feels like it carries a story. Even in winter, Porto radiates warmth, not from the sun, but from its people, its wine, and its softly glowing heart. The air is crisp, salted by the Atlantic, scented with roasted chestnuts and the faint sweetness of port wine drifting from riverside cellars. As evening descends, lights ripple across the Ribera district, where pastel houses tumble down the hill toward the water in a cascade of color and time. The Dom Luis the Firm Bridge, iron and elegant, becomes the city's crown, its arches strung with lights that shimmer over the river like molten stars. Below, reflections stretch and dance upon the water, blending sky and city into a single luminous dream. On both banks, laughter rises from cafes, where locals warm their hands around cups of espresso and glasses of ruby red port. Music drifts through the streets, guitar strings, voices, and the hum of conversation in a language as smooth as the wine that bears the city's name. From the narrow lanes of Miragaya to the wide squares of Aliados, December lights thread through the air like veins of gold. At São Bento Station, the famous blue and white tiles gleam under soft lamplight, telling stories of kings and sailors, love and departure. In winter, the tiles seem almost alive, cold to the touch but warm to the soul. Christmas markets fill Praça da Batalha, their stalls laden with pastries, wool scarves, and the scent of cinnamon and orange peel. Above, church bells ring from Clérigos Tower, echoing through the mist like gentle reminders of faith and time. The Livraria Lello, one of the most beautiful bookstores in the world, glows from within, its stained glass roof catching the last amber light of the day. Inside, the air smells of paper and pine, and the hush of December feels like reverence. Along the Douro, boats bob gently under twinkling strings of bulbs, reflections doubling their beauty on the river's dark glass. Across the water in Villanova de Gaia, the wine cellars gleam with golden signage, their doors open to warmth, oak, and the rich scent of aging barrels. The whole city feels suspended, half dream, half devotion. When the fog rolls in from the Atlantic, Porto becomes a watercolor. Soft edges, golden glimmers, the hum of something eternal beneath the hush. Every street lamp, every candle, every river reflection seems to whisper the same secret. Light lives longer here. Porto doesn't shine with grandeur. It glows with gratitude, with memory, with heart. And when you finally walk away from the river, you realize you've left part of your soul shimmering behind, caught forever beneath those December lights. Dubrovnik, Croatia. On the edge of the Adriatic, where sea and stone embrace, Dubrovnik, Croatia, glows in December like a jewel lost between centuries. Encircled by ancient walls, the pearl of the Adriatic softens in winter, its golden limestone streets bathed in the gentle shimmer of 1,000 lights. Gone are the crowds of summer. What remains is the soul of the city, quiet, timeless, and illuminated by the hush of the sea. The air tastes of salt and pine, and when evening falls, the scent of mulled wine and roasted almonds drifts through the narrow lanes. Within the old town, strings of lights drape over marble streets, polished smooth by centuries of footsteps. Each window flickers with warmth, each balcony adorned with wreaths, and somewhere, faintly, a mandolin plays. From the pile gate, the city opens like a fairy tale, arches of light leading down the Straden, where the wet stone mirrors every twinkle above. At night, the bell tower glows against the dark sky, its clock marking time in a rhythm that feels older than the world itself. December in Dubrovnik isn't about grandeur. It's about intimacy, the way the sea reflects the lights, the way history whispers in every corner. Along the harbor, fishing boats rest beneath soft garlands, their masts swaying gently as waves shimmer like glass. The city walls, lit from below, curve like a crown around the peninsula, guarding centuries of stories and songs. From Fort Lovrijenac, the view is dreamlike, the orange roofs of the city glowing beneath a thin veil of mist, the sea beyond, silver and endless. Inside cozy taverns, locals share laughter and seafood stew, while candles flicker against stone walls and old wooden beams. In Luza Square, the Christmas market fills the air with joy, gingerbread, carols, laughter, and the hum of hope. The Baroque facade of St. Blaise's Church gleams in gold light, its steps covered in garlands that sparkle softly in the night breeze. Even the cold feels kind here, softened by the sea and the glow that spills from every doorway. Above, seagulls circle slowly, their white wings catching the reflection of streetlights like drifting stars. The Adriatic sighs against the shore, carrying whispers of sailors, merchants, and lovers who once walked these same illuminated paths. Every archway, every lantern, every stone seems alive, holding not just light, but memory. Dubrovnik in December is like a secret kept by the sea, a city stripped of noise, left only with beauty. When the church bells ring at midnight, the sound carries over the water, clear and eternal. And as the waves shimmer under 1,000 lights, you realize this city doesn't just shine, it remembers, it breathes, it belongs to time. Dubrovnik glows not for show, but for love, for itself, for its people, for anyone lucky enough to wander its winter light. Vilnius, Lithuania. When December comes, Vilnius, Lithuania, turns into a northern dream, quiet, golden, and dusted with frost that sparkles like memory. Set where the Vilnia and Neris rivers meet, the city rises in layers of light and shadow, Baroque domes glowing through the mist like lanterns in the snow. The old town, a UNESCO treasure, wraps itself in silence, its pastel facades softened by winter's breath. From above, the Gediminas Tower stands like a watchful guardian, its red brick glowing warmly against the pale sky. Down below, the streets weave through centuries. Church spires, cobblestones, courtyards, and whispers of history tucked between stone walls. By nightfall, Vilnius transforms. Every street glimmers under soft white lights. Every window becomes a candle in the dark. The air smells of pine and roasted almonds, and somewhere, a violin plays faintly in the cold. At the heart of the city, Cathedral Square glows with its famous Christmas tree, an art piece of light and imagination, shimmering like something out of a fairy tale. Snow crunches underfoot as families circle the stalls of the Christmas market, laughter mingling with the steam of hot cocoa and cinnamon. Nearby, the bell tower tolls softly, its sound drifting over the rooftops and river like a prayer for warmth. The Užupis district, Vilnius's bohemian soul, glows differently. Quirky lights, murals glistening with frost, and cafes where artists warm their hands over coffee and poetry. Cross the Bridge of Angels, and you'll see ribbons of color twinkling in the dark, reflections trembling on the river below. Even the air seems to hum here, vibrating with something ancient and kind. In the old courtyards, candles flicker behind frosted glass, and you catch glimpses of silhouettes moving softly in their glow. The Bernardine Gardens lie quiet under snow, their paths lined with golden lanterns that guide you through the stillness. Everywhere, there's contrast, silence and song, cold and light, solitude and togetherness. Vilnius in December doesn't shout its beauty, it whispers it, like a story told by firelight. The city's Baroque churches gleam with soft luminescence, their domes painted by the glow of street lamps and stars. Up in Gediminas Hill, the view is breathtaking, a patchwork of rooftops and steeples bathed in the silvery light of winter. You feel small, but not alone. The city breathes with you, calm and infinite. When the snow begins to fall again, it doesn't cover the city, it crowns it. Vilnius in winter is a poem written in light and silence, in candle flame and snowflake. And when you walk away, its glow follows you quietly, as if you've carried a piece of northern magic home in your heart. Gothenburg, Sweden. Gothenburg in December is a lullaby of light, a city wrapped in wool and wonder. The sea breathes cold air through the harbor, but the streets hum with warmth. Every window becomes a lantern, every cafe a hearth, every tram a moving ember through the night. Snow falls in slow motion, catching the glow of lampposts, turning every flake into a star. On Avenyn, the city's grand avenue, lights hang like constellations between the buildings, and the sound of laughter rolls like soft music. The air tastes of cinnamon and salt, of something sweet and near and old. Down in Haga, candles flicker in the windows of wooden houses painted ochre and red. You stop to breathe it in, the scent of coffee, the clink of porcelain, the hush of snow pressing gently on the world. At Liseberg, the trees are dressed in millions of lights, their branches shimmering like gold spun from the northern wind. Families wander through the park, cheeks pink, hands clasped, eyes wide. Somewhere, a choir sings, their voices floating like breath over frost. The harbor glows in silver, ships moored like memories, their masts mirrored in the water. Each ripple doubles the light, doubles the dream. Even the old cranes, those iron giants, seem soft beneath the shimmer of December. The Gothenburg Cathedral stands bright and still, its white walls glowing in the night like forgiveness. Inside, the scent of pine and candle wax fills the air, and time slows to a whisper. Outside, snowflakes land on your coat and vanish. Small miracle, here and gone. The city feels alive in its stillness, breathing light instead of noise. You walk without hurry, the glow guiding you, the sound of trams fading like a lullaby. And when you stop by the river, the reflection of Gothenburg stretches before you, endless, golden, and calm. This isn't the brightness of spectacle, it's the glow of peace. And as midnight folds around you, you understand, in Gothenburg, The light doesn't just shine, it comforts. Bergen, Norway. Nestled between mountains and the sea, Bergen is Norway's second largest city and perhaps its most enchanting when December arrives. By winter, the city's famous rain turns its streets into mirrors, doubling the beauty of every light that decorates the waterfront. The Bryggen Wharf, a UNESCO World Heritage Site, becomes the centerpiece of the glow, its colorful 14th century houses reflecting perfectly on the dark water. Strings of lights weave between gables and rooftops, transforming the old harbor into a living postcard. The fish market buzzes softly even in the chill, with vendors serving steaming bowls of fish soup and mugs of glögg to warm cold hands. The scent of cloves, oranges, and smoked salmon fills the air, mingling with the salt from the fjord. At night, the Fløibanen funicular carries visitors up to Mount Fløyen, where the entire city twinkles below like a sea of stars. From up there, you can see the boats rocking gently in the harbor, each one strung with lights that ripple across the water. The streets of Bryggen shine in the rain, the wooden walls creaking softly under the weight of time and mist. Cafes glow along the alleys, offering cinnamon pastries, rich coffee, and a view of the rain tracing patterns on the glass. At Torgallmenningen, the Christmas market fills the square with laughter, wool, and warmth, vendors selling crafts, candles, and gingerbread hearts. Nearby, choirs sing carols under umbrellas, their voices carrying above the steady rhythm of drizzle. Even the grayness here feels beautiful, like a painting done in silver and light. The St. Mary's Church, the oldest building in Bergen, stands radiant, its white facade illuminated softly by spotlights against the fog. Down at the harbor, the reflections are endless, each droplet, each ripple a piece of living art. Locals move slowly through the glow, bundled in scarves, unbothered by the weather they've learned to love. For them, December isn't about escaping the dark. It's about celebrating it with warmth and grace. Every candle in a window, every string of lights on a boat feels deliberate, intentional, like a promise kept each winter. As the rain continues to fall, the city never dims. It just becomes more beautiful, more honest. Bergen in December isn't about perfection. It's about resilience, reflection, and light. And when you leave, you'll remember not just what you saw, but how it felt, calm, glowing, eternal. Kraków, Poland. When December descends upon Kraków, the ancient capital of kings and poets exhales a soft, golden light that feels less like illumination and more like memory returning home. The Vistula River winds slowly around the old town, its dark waters catching fragments of reflected color. Street lamps, stars, and the flicker of candles burning behind frosted glass. The cold air smells faintly of pine, smoke, and history, as if the city itself still remembers the sound of carriages and church bells from centuries ago. Snow settles over the rooftops like a hush, turning every tower and spire into a sculpture of stillness. From above, Wawel Castle rises proud and eternal, its walls glowing softly against the sky, a guardian of the past watching over a city alive with warmth. Below it, the cobblestones of the old town gleam wet with melted snow, reflecting strings of light that crisscross between ancient facades. The heart of it all beats in the Rynek Główny, one of Europe's largest and most beautiful squares, now transformed into a wonderland of sound, scent, and shimmer. Wooden stalls line the square like a village of dreams, each one glowing beneath garlands of evergreen and gold. The air hums with carols and laughter, the rhythm of boots crunching on ice, and the distant murmur of church bells that mark the hour with quiet grace. Vendors serve hot pierogi filled with cheese and mushrooms, and the smell of grilled ossipek cheese, smoked and drizzled with cranberry, curls through the cold air like perfume. The Sukiennis, the old cloth hall, stands at the center of the square, a magnificent silhouette bathed in golden light, its arches echoing with the footsteps of lovers and dreamers. Above, the twin towers of St. Mary's Basilica pierce the night sky, their copper spires glinting under a dusting of frost. Every hour, the Hedgenow Mariachi, that haunting trumpet call, sounds from the taller tower, breaking off mid-melody to honor a legend of watchmen and courage. The tune floats through the cold, across the square, echoing against the windows of cafes where people sip mulled wine and whisper softly. The melody feels like the soul of Krakow, brave, bittersweet, eternal. Inside, candles flicker against old wooden beams, while hands warm around porcelain cups of cocoa dusted with cinnamon. The windows fog, but the laughter inside glows, blurred silhouettes and golden halos merging into one warm heartbeat. Beyond the square, the streets narrow and twist, leading to courtyards where lanterns hang low and the snow falls slower, as if reluctant to touch such beauty. You pass old bookstores, their windows filled with yellowed pages and Christmas garlands, and bakeries where the scent of poppy seed rolls escapes into the night. At Wawul Hill, the wind carries the faint sound of choirs from the cathedral, voices rising into the mist like prayers stitched with light. Below, the Vistula gleams in silver, its banks strung with lamps that shimmer like constellations fallen to earth. Trams roll quietly through the city, their windows glowing softly, the passengers inside wrapped in scarves, lost in thought, carried gently through the glow. Krakow in December is not about spectacle. It's about grace, about the intimacy of light meeting cold, of silence meeting song. It's a place where the past breathes alongside the present, where the stones beneath your feet remember the touch of centuries. Every church, every window, every flicker of flame feels like a whisper. We are still here. As midnight approaches, the bells ring again, deep, resonant, patient, rolling across the rooftops and disappearing into the river's fog. The light doesn't fade, it deepens. And you realize that Krakow doesn't need to shine to be luminous. It simply glows from within, quietly, endlessly, like a heart that never stopped beating. Wrocław, Poland. When December settles over Wrocław, Poland, the city lights up like a stage set for winter's most enchanting performance. The old town square, Rynek, becomes a living theater, its colorful facades glowing beneath a canopy of lights. Snow drifts softly between Gothic spires and Baroque balconies, turning the cobblestones into rivers of silver. The air hums with laughter, music, and the sweet scent of mulled wine carried on the cold breeze. The town hall, with its intricate clock tower, gleams like an amber jewel at the heart of it all. Strings of lights crisscross the square, their reflections dancing on the wet stone like stars come to earth. Everywhere you turn, there's movement, horses' hooves, the whirl of ice skaters, the quiet rhythm of snow. The Rochefort Christmas market is one of Europe's most magical, wooden stalls glowing with golden bulbs, filled with handmade crafts and warm pastries. You can taste the season here: cinnamon, orange peel, roasted almonds, and hot chocolate thick enough to be dessert. In one corner, a carousel turns slowly, its horses glinting beneath fairy lights and children's laughter. The city's famous dwarves, tiny bronze figures hidden across the streets, wear Santa hats and smiles of mischief. Tourists search for them in the snow, tracing their small footprints through the glittering city. From Cathedral Island, bells echo across the river, their sound rolling through mist like a song of light. The Oder River, frozen in parts, mirrors the shimmer of bridges wrapped in garlands. Even the trams seem festive, windows fogged, passengers glowing in candlelit calm. Wrocław feels timeless in winter, like a fairy tale rewritten in frost and color. Every light reflects not just beauty, but resilience. This city has rebuilt itself from ashes, and it remembers. The snow keeps falling, gentle and endless, softening the edges of history. Up close, the Christmas tree in the square is colossal, a tower of gold, green, and promise. The music swells, violins, laughter, footsteps, and the whole city feels alive, breathing in unison. You stand still, caught between the glow and the quiet, the cold and the warmth. Wrocław doesn't just shine, it performs. And under a million lights, you realize the true magic of December is not in the spectacle, but in the feeling it leaves behind. Innsbruck, Austria. There are cities that celebrate winter, and then there's Innsbruck, where winter feels like love itself. Snow falls gently between the pastel houses, landing on eyelashes, scarves, and smiles. The mountains rise so close you can almost touch them, their peaks glowing like silver flames. The air smells of roasted chestnuts, pine, and melted sugar. In the old town, narrow alleys shimmer under garlands of warm light. The golden roof gleams above it all, a crown of memory and gold in the heart of the cold. You wander slowly, each breath a cloud, each step an echo in a city that feels like a lullaby. The Christmas market glows softly, rows of wooden stalls, laughter, the sound of a violin somewhere near. Couples share cups of glühwein, their hands brushing as steam rises between them. Children chase snowflakes beneath the arches, their joy like sparks in the dark. Every corner glows with something human: laughter, music, warmth. From the bridge, you can see the river glowing under the lanterns, the reflection of mountains trembling in its flow. Somewhere above, church bells ring, soft and slow, folding the city in peace. You find yourself in a cafe tucked beneath an archway, hands curled around a mug of hot chocolate. Outside, the snow drifts down like confetti, soft and endless. You can hear carols from the square, carried by the wind like whispered prayers. Time slows here. It always does in places that love winter. Innsbruck doesn't chase light, it invites it in. Every window tells a story, every lamp glows like memory. You walk home beneath the lights, the world's silver and still. The mountains watch in silence, ancient and kind. The city hums softly, a heart beating beneath the snow. And you think, as your breath fades into the night, this isn't just winter. Sibiu, Romania. There's something about Sibiu in December that feels like stepping inside an old love letter. The handwriting is light, the ink golden, the words wrapped in snow. The city smells of cinnamon, roasted almonds, and sweet smoke from distant chimneys. The streets are quiet but alive, glowing like pages touched by candlelight. In the Piazza Mare, a carousel spins slowly beneath a sky of stars and string lights. Children laugh. The bells of Lutheran Cathedral ring softly, and the air feels full of music. Couples walk beneath arches of light, their hands tucked deep into each other's coats. Snowflakes swirl around them, catching the orange glow of lanterns as they fall. At the market, the wooden stalls glow with warmth. Wool scarves, handmade ornaments, steaming cups of Van Fiert. The The world feels smaller here, but infinitely more beautiful. Even the cobblestones seem to hum with the weight of 1,000 winters. You wander without hurry, each turn revealing another corner of quiet magic. The Bridge of Lies sparkles with frost, its legend whispered between snowflakes. Above, the council tower gleams like a lighthouse guiding lost hearts through the cold. The mountains beyond glimmer faintly, their peaks invisible behind a veil of mist. Cebu has the rare gift of being both humble and holy. Every light feels sacred. You can hear laughter from a nearby cafe, the clink of glasses, the sigh of warmth against winter. It feels timeless, like Christmas as you always imagined it should be. Somewhere, a violin begins to play, soft and slow, a melody that tastes like memory. You pause, you listen, you breathe, and realize how light can be both gentle and eternal. The snow keeps falling, and the city glows quietly beneath it. Every window seems to smile back at you, every face softened by golden reflection. Cebu doesn't just sparkle, it embraces. And for a moment, you forget the rest of the world even exists.